In this final review of item codes, we're going to briefly talk about sales tax items and sales tax group. So on each invoice, if the customer is sales taxable, you will see this item code. And these are all the choices that this particular sample has set up. And these four are their sales tax items. And so this is the rate. East Bay Shore is 0.03%. Out of state would be 0. And San Domingo would be 7.5. And San Thomas is 7.75. So as you can see, each one is set up with their own rate, and out of state is 0, but you have to set it up and let them, let the program know that there's no tax on this particular customer. And that's generally what you do for your area. If you have a complex issue, you would use a different, plug-in for this. But for very small and it's only your area or a couple areas like this works great. I did want to point out as well that you can see there's these are sales tax items, and that's what we're using for this invoice. But this is a sales tax group, and I'm going to dig in and show you behind the scenes about that, but I want to show you what it does to the invoice. So as you can see, this is 7.75. I'm going to change the rate, and it went up to 8.05. So let's go in and see why. Let's go into the item codes, and we will go into the sales tax. All right, so here are the individual pieces, and this is grouped. And basically it's a group like we talked about early in an earlier lesson, is you just grab items together and it can make up the math. So if you see this is 8.5, obviously there's more inside of this group than just one item. So let's edit it. You can see this group contains East Bay Shore at 0.03, which is a city tax, and then the state tax. So for East Bay Shore County, what they're telling us right here is it uses the San Thomas rate and the city rate to give you a grand total of 8.05. So it's a really cool tool to allow us to group together different items because it's not always as easy as one number. Sometimes it's one or two. Sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes, you can see you can put several in here. We can put another one if we want. Obviously not out of state, but we would put, let's say we would put this one. See how high that changes? Or, you can change this around if you need to. You can hit the drop down and take them out if you need to. But that's how you set up sales tax items and using sales tax groups or using sales tax items. If you have a simple situation, this works great. If it's very complex, it can be cumbersome. Tracking in here can be done, but it's very cumbersome.